All right, Shalom. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, out there that's pushing His truth and true sincerity. Just some more prophecy concerning sedition and uproars of the people and protests. All right. Last week on my other page, I did one on what was going on in Ecuador. All right. Now we headed to Spain. All right. This is from NPR. It says Spain braces for more protests after Catalan separatists sentenced to prison. This is from October 15th, 2019. And as you can see, there's all types of chaos going on in the streets, uproars of the people. Okay. And as we keep telling you people, all right, pay attention to prophecy. Pay attention to the prophets who can actually give you the prophecy. If you don't necessarily know what's going on, it's best that you hearken to the prophets, namely a Great Millstone and other like-minded men, okay? Because, you know, our people, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, are heavily distracted by these holidays. You know, they have, like, temporary distractions, you know, like this Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions game that had bad officiating calls, and that's what Jake is talking about. But Jake is not talking about what's happening around the world because Jake doesn't inquire about current topics. So this is what's going on in the world right now for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans here in America. All right, it says police and protesters were expected to face off for a second time Tuesday in Spain's northeastern Catalonia region, a day after the Supreme Court found 9 separatist leaders guilty of sedition and sentenced them up to 13 years. The protests erupted Monday when most of the Catalan politicians and activists on trial were found guilty and barred from holding public office. 3 others were fined, and 4 of these who received lengthy sentences were also convicted of charges of misuse of funds. The High Court barred all of them from holding public office. Railroads were blocked by pro-independence protesters who threw trash on the tracks and then set it on fire. And they showed that yesterday on RT News. Demonstrations also swarmed major roads, bringing traffic to a standstill. And look at all these people, man. All right? All these people, man, they want independence. These people that live in the Catalan region, they want independence from Spain because if you actually do the research on these people from the Catalan region, it's in northeast Spain, which is basically bordering France. Now, their language and their customs and their culture, and a lot of them are Israelites, okay? A lot of them are Israelites, all right? Their language is more Spanish. Excuse me, the Catalan language and their culture is more French/Italian. It's not Spanish. Like, if a person from Catalan, namely like Barcelona, that's the main city in the Catalan region, if they went to Madrid, okay, and they try to speak their language, somebody from Madrid will not understand what they're talking about. See, there's 2 different, this is where the people want to separate because these people in the Catalan region, they feel that they have their own government, their own culture, their own language, their own way of doing things, and people in other regions of Spain, all right, they have their different ways and customs and cultures, all right? And look at all these people, man. It says many flights were canceled in anticipation of protests gathering at Barcelona's main airport for a second day of protests, including American Airlines flights to New York, Miami, Chicago, and Philadelphia. Student Claudia Cusi was at the airport on Monday, where thousands clashed with police who held them back with batons and rubber bullets. But when sedition comes to America, man, ain't gonna be no rubber bullets, man. We just wanted a referendum and the right to vote, and all that happened was they ended up in jail, Cusi told Lucia Benavides, who was covering the unrest for NPR. It says protests and Monday's court rulings that sparked them stem from an independence referendum held 2 years ago. Although turnout was low, an overwhelming number cast ballots for independence from Spain. However, Spain's government maintains that the country's constitution made the referendum illegal. Catalan lawmakers declared independence. What followed was a tense standoff, the imposition a direct rule from Madrid and the arrest of 9 separatist leaders. 5 others, including Catalan President Carlos Puigdemont, went into self-imposed exile. So that's it on that. But what I want to get into, how all this happened, okay? So this is from CNBC, all right? It says how bad economically a Spain-Catalonia split could be, because Spain is not going to let go of Catalonia, okay? And you'll see why. This is why these people are taken to the streets, all right? And this is why the government of Spain sent those people to jail for all those years, all right? And as you see, once again, people taken to the streets. It said a split between Spain and Catalonia would cause a major political shakeup in the country, but would also have significant consequences for the economy on both sides, experts have told CNBC. Police fired rubber bullets, wrestled protesters, smashed doorways, and carted off ballot boxes in several parts of Barcelona on Sunday. Now keep in mind, this is like a year and a half ago. As long lines of people voted in an independence referendum that could radically reshape politics across a divided region. Pro-independence lawmakers hope the northeastern region will gain complete political and economic autonomy from Spain, despite the referendum putting Catalonia in open defiance of central authorities in Madrid. As you see more pictures of protesters. It says, as the most prosperous of Spain's 17 regions, Catalonia houses roughly 19% of Spain's economy, benefiting from tourism, exports, manufacturing industry. So if they were to actually separate from Spain, that would be a good chunk of income that Spain would be getting. Catalonia has talked of separation from Spain since the founding of Estat Català, a political movement which began in 1922. And throughout the 36-year dictatorship of Franco, however, the resurgence of the pro-procession movement over the past few years is due primarily to Spain's economic woes. A 2010 constitutional court decision to lessen Catalonia's sovereignty and a distrust of Madrid or the centralized Spanish government. Amid discussions of Scotland's own relationship to the European Union after Brexit, questions still have arisen on the economic implications of a Catalonia-Spain split. All right, so it says here CNBC investigates the implications of the two areas divide. All right, that just goes basically, I'm going to just get to this part right here. It says, while Catalonians only account for about 16% of the Spanish population, Catalonia makes a hefty contribution to the overall Spanish economy, making 223.6 billion euros, 262.96 billion a year, according to the regional government. This is around 20% of its total gross domestic product, larger than the contribution that California makes to the whole United States. So they need Catalonia, man. And these people, they don't trust the government. Like I said, the people in the Catalonia region of Spain, where you have the Barcelona FC team, the world famous Barcelona team, all right, you know, with Lionel Messi and Suarez and whatnot, all right. They even wear, sometimes they even wear the Catalonian colors on their jerseys, all right. These people want to be independent from Spain. But however, Spain came in and said, no, we're going to lock up these people who originated this idea so we can stop. So meanwhile, there's all types of chaos and sedition going out in the streets. And this is just more proof, okay? This is just more proof that Esau's kingdom, all right, Esau's whole beast system, all right, is going down, man, because the people are fed up with these corrupt governments, all right? So that's ushering the end of Esau. Let me just pause it right quick and get up some scriptures. All right, so everything that we talk about is biblical. So when you see uprisings of the people in Ecuador, Haiti, Venezuela, Colombia, Argentina, now Spain, all right, it's biblical. It says, this is Ezra speaking. This is Ezra basically finding out what the end of the world is going to be, basically in a nutshell. All right, because he knew he was going to come back through reincarnation and see all these events. So he was acquiring to the angel what was going to happen. All right. Second Ezra 91. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people. Now, there was just an earthquake in the Bay Area, and it's brothers in that region of California have been saying it's the fifth in the past week. All right, it's been little aftershocks, but I have reason to believe, man, all these fault lines are going to start opening up. You got the New Madrid fault line. All right, that's they haven't had a major earthquake in that fault line since 1812, man. So get ready for major earthquakes to start happening in the United States. You see them happening all over the world. You see them happening in Indonesia and Japan, Russia. But get ready for these things to happen in the United States, a.k.a. Babylon the Great. Okay? So it says, then when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people. We saw that going on in Catalonia, Spain, man. They're taking to the streets. If you watch RT News and watch their live stream from yesterday, people are actually in the streets, all right, burning stuff up. They're fed up with the government. They're fed up with the regime of Madrid, the centralized government over there in Spain, man. All right, so there's uproars of the people. People taking to the streets and looting and robbing, all right? And that's what's happening, man, because people are tired of this corrupt system, all right, under Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. No matter where you live, all right, the earth says, the scripture said the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. So whether your government official looks like a so-called white man or a so-called East Indian or an Asian or even a so-called Latino man, it's all set up by the wicked, Esau, Edom, man, all right? And there's all types of corruption going on. The rich get rich and the poor get poor, okay? As they say. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So the Most High, through prophecy, he spoke of these things way before we were even born, okay? Way before these things even happened. Now they're being manifested, and we can go to the scriptures and back it up to what we're saying, all right? So I'm going to go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. In verse 1, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Yeah, these prophecies are faithful and true. That's how we know what times we're in 2019. But really, we don't even know what time period we're in, because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, changes times and laws. He gives you leap years. He gives you daylight savings times. All right, he gives you the Gregorian and Julian calendar. So we really don't know what time period we're in. But for the sake of argument, we're in 2019, the year Karagman. All right. Verse 5, I'm going to just jump. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, that's violence, famine, all right, no food, you can't go to your local store and get a loaf of bread. Death, mass death is coming to the shores of America and other parts of the country, and destruction. The ultimate destruction is the ICBM missiles that's going to be shot to America and other parts of the country during World War III. And why is the reason? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Especially here in America, where transgenders, all right, can go to elementary schools and strip. All right, we just had, here in Atlanta, we just had, there was another, not we, they just had another gay pride parade, as if they don't have enough. And then there's a whole bunch of wickedness going on. A bunch of corrupt governments, all right, people taking bribes and whatnot, all right. This is the world that we live in right now, but this world is soon to be over, because it's time for Esau's rule to be over with, all right. Verse 7, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And yeah, we're complaining continually for the Most High to establish a new heaven and a new earth, man. All right, this is not the end-all, be-all be all on this current system ran by the so-called white man. All right, like I said, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. The so-called white man is not any smarter than you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Israelites. All right, it was given to him. All right. So basically, let me go down to verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And you see that going on in Catalonia, Spain. On one side of people fighting against another. You got the pro-Catalan independence movement going against the centralized government of Spain. All right. Spain said we're not going to have this because we're going to lose money if you people want to be independent and set up Catalonia as a country. We can't have that, okay? They say that Catalonia takes in more money than California to the federal government, man. All right, so Spain is like, hell no. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition. Now, sedition is the act of going against your government. That's why those people in Catalonia got arrested and got lengthy sentences. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes. And it's going to get worse, man. You still got martial law going on in Iraq as well. You got sedition and martial law being set up all across the world, but the average American is not paying attention to that. You know, the Washington Nationals just made it to the World Series, so that's another distraction. And there's nothing wrong with watching sports, man, but the main objective of a prophet is to watch and pray and prophesy, man. All right? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And here's the point. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And there's going to be martial law set up in these places where there's sedition because the government is like, look, we can't handle these people. We got to set up curfews. And if you're found in the streets, you're going to get sent to jail or shot on spot. And best believe it's coming to America because the Department of Defense, according to an article last week, is ready for martial law here in America by placing Marines on U.S. soil. So it's getting real close for you people here in America. All right, so it's a high time for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to get out of that hypnosis state. All right, so I'm gonna end it on this, man. All right, Isaiah chapter 2, because the Most High is setting up a righteous government, man, not these corrupt governments that you see in the world today. All right, and the people that's going to be ruled over it is the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, the Hebrew Israelites, God's chosen people that the Bible speaks of, man. All right, Isaiah 2:1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. All right, Judah representing the southern kingdom and Jerusalem representing the northern kingdom are coming back together right now under this word, but eventually in the kingdom of heaven. And it shall come to pass in the last days, after it's said and done, after they issue the RFID chip, after World War III happens, all these seditious acts happens in these governments, World War III, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, a new government, okay, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, which is the Israelites. He will teach us of his ways. That's not happening right now. The ways of the Most High are not taught in this wicked society right now. Homosexuality, transgenderism, pedophilia, democracy, all right, is being taught right now. And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law. See, the law is forsaken right now under this current system set up by the so-called white man. And the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares. That's not happening right now. So that goes to show you that the so-called Jew over there who established the state of Israel back in 1948, he's not the real Jew. He's Jewish. He's a Khazarian rat. All right, because there's still war going on in that region right now. It says, shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And this is going to happen in the kingdom of heaven, man. So prophecy is unfolding, and it's eventually leading to the kingdom of heaven for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.